What is up? We are here, day 39 of the 90-day Genesis case study, and for those of you following this from the early on, you're going to notice there's a big gap since the last video. In fact, it was a 17-day gap. The last video I did was day 22, and I told you guys early on I might do a video a day, a couple a day. There might even be ones where I go once per week or so. I did not intend on having a 17-day gap. That's like 2.5 weeks. The last one was on the 22nd. So my birthday was on June 27th, and then we have 4th of July, and not only are those, right around that week is typically where my family does a lot of stuff, typically throughout the last like 6 years. We also had some other life circumstances come up that were, completely unplanned. I literally haven't touched my business up until the last like 16 hours or so. I have not touched my business for more than 6 or 7 days. And this had nothing to do with like my birthday or anything else. Everything to do with supporting my family. And I don't mean just my wife and kids, my extended family. We've had a challenge come up, and I was looking for this water. I couldn't find it. I just found it. It's been sitting here on my desk for the last couple hours. We've had a challenge come up, and I won't go into details, but it's really one of the most trying and potentially difficult times in the history of my entire extended family. But also, with that said, tremendous opportunity for big growth to come. I'm talking about, an event that can really change the future of my extended family. In a good way, in a bad way, it's up to us to determine that. There's some family members that are like, well, whatever's gonna happen, things are just gonna happen. And they think they have no control over the outcome of our future. I'm just like, dude, you guys are crazy. So I have to be a massive influence for my family. And so obviously, if you want to question, if anybody, I've questioned this before. So if the question ever comes up, is my family more important or my business? Well, I've just not touched business for like 7 days straight because my family is more important. And that's my extended family, much less my actual, whatever direct family, my wife and my children. So I'll just share with you guys, how deep of an impact this was. So a couple days ago, I went to a movie with my wife and kids. We just had to get away from all this craziness that's been happening. And so we go to a movie, and there was like a time, my wife was driving there, going there, and a time we were leaving the theater where I just started crying. Like just literally in the middle of a movie theater. Like, well, not in the theater, but driving there, coming home, where just start thinking certain thoughts and things that have been happening, and just, tears of compassion, of empathy, of sadness, of all kinds of things, but just, and I'm an emotional person anyway. Some of you watching this, you're just really reserved and you never express emotions, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You guys know I'm a guy, I wear my heart in my sleeve, so to say, but I don't walk around crying in public places. So anyway, I was thinking of that when that happened. Well, I gotta say something of this in a video, and that was just, that was a couple circumstances. It was either that same day or the day before. Today is Thursday, and I think on Monday, dude, I have no idea. It's been a blur. Monday or Tuesday, there was a time where I probably like a dozen times throughout the day just like broke down into tears out of nowhere. Like I'm watching TV, I get off a phone call or just whatever, just out of nowhere, just like bam, just things hit real quick. So anyway, I've been going through really unique family challenges and opportunities in the past, probably about a week or so. And then prior to that week, I was still working, but I left all this up. This is the same from the last video. The main thing that's changed in the business, and I'll tell you guys, this has been awesome. Not changed, but the thing that's been appearing is all the work I did of sourcing those local things. So this is Genesis Easy Stuff, retail arbitrage. I now have well over 10 or 11 sales the last couple days I checked. I just now in the past like 12-ish hours, my most recent shipment, so my third set of shipment is arriving there. So we did a shipment, I think it was, it may have been on July 3rd we sent it. I think it was, because we wanted to get it off right before the holiday. So it's just getting in there now, and with the holiday and the weekend and everything, this one's taken about 6 or 7 days to be, arrive there and get checked in. Actually, I have emails right now of shipment receiving, shipment received in full, shipment receiving, shipment received in full. Last night at 10 and 11 p.m. there were 2 of the boxes. We sent 4. I think 1 may have received yesterday. I don't even know, guys. I don't know all the details, but I do know that we have sent a total of 3 shipments. In those 3 shipments, it was 4 boxes, the first one, 8 boxes, the second one, and 4 boxes, this recent one. So I've sent a total of 16 boxes. The boxes have ranged between 5 pounds each, and I think the biggest one was 42 pounds. And that bigger shipment in the middle where we sent 8 boxes, those were bigger items, a lot of appliances, like blenders and roasters and all crazy stuff. Like kitchen appliances, stuff like this. Not all kitchen, I don't think, but stuff like that, bigger boxes kind of stuff. I'm looking around for examples so I could show you, but it's all in Amazon. So what's been cool is this stuff is just selling. So Amazon is out there selling this stuff, and it's just selling, and we're just making money behind the scenes from stuff I've done over the past month or so. And so that's really cool. Now, it's not residual income because I had to do that work to go find the stuff at the stores and then, get it shipped out of here. But it is really cool that they're doing, our best item was like, I forgot all the details, but we bought it for $7.50 and it sold for $80. It sells every day for $80 many times a day on Amazon. And I happened to get it on a clearance really good at a store, and so really deep clearance. I have no idea why it was so inexpensive. I think they're just trying to get rid of their stock, or maybe it was accidentally in the clearance aisle. So anyway, that was one item, pay $7.50, it sells for $80, you pay some Amazon fees. We made $50 like that. And it sold the very first day I got into it. Literally, I'm telling you, it sells so many times a day where basically as soon as they checked it in, it was already sold in the next few hours, instantly sold. And that's happened with a lot of items where a box gets in and bam, stuff sells right away. Where I'll share with you guys where I could probably report 20, 30, 40 plus sales right now is that our pricing, I've been setting the pricing when we ship it. So the stuff that's just getting in there now, we sent off on July 3rd and today's July 10th. So it's taken about a week. Well, during that week, when I set the prices a week ago, some of that stuff has some competition, so the pricing has come down, and so now I'm overpriced because where I set the price that was competitive a week ago has now come down a little bit. So the game is, do I stay at the same price and wait for these guys to sell out where the pricing comes back up? Or is there so much competition where the pricing is going to keep going down forever? That's something people have no idea about when they're starting out with FBA. So that's one of the things I'm learning through this process. And my bigger overall game plan right now is to use, so I know I mentioned last time, do around 20% of the easy local arbitrage stuff and then focus the majority on, basically on China is really where it's at. I'm gonna talk more about that, but my game plan right now is to actually hardly do any retail arbitrage easy stuff. Here's my goals with that part of the business: to learn what I need to know to really be amazing at sourcing from China, which is Genesis traditional. that's number one, is the education. Because once I get that education, there's nobody can take that away from me, barring some kind of brain injury or something. So, and that's really, I've showed you guys my library before. I've read almost every single book and tape and CD and DVD that you've seen in my library, like over $100,000 worth of investment into my education. So nobody can take that stuff away ever. That's why I can, jump into a situation and typically have a little more success than an average person, because I have all these success principles installed. I know, go find somebody who's done it better than me and just copy what they've done. So I'm not just paving all this road on my own. And even this local stuff, I'm working with people that they're already doing that. What stores do you like the best? Where do you go in those stores? What do you do? I'm asking these questions of people already doing this stuff. So I'm really able to, it's called modeling, by the way, doing what other people have already done before me. So I'm not just this renegade out there figuring it all out on my own. I do that in parts of my business, but not all of it. That would be stupid, because then I'm just recreating a road and I'm like, oh dude, I've done that at times in my life and times in my business where I'm off on my own, I'm paving the road, this lone solopreneur and just tearing it up, the road less traveled, and I'm like, dude, sweet, and I discover all this stuff. And then I start teaching people and they're like, dude, that's all in this book, read this book. And I read the book and I could have written a thing. I'm like, oh my God, I just had to take a year to learn all this when I could have just read this little book. And just the first chapter alone just would have saved me the last year of my life doing it on my own. So I've had that situation enough to realize there is a place for innovation and for you to figure things out on your own. That's an important part of being uber successful. I'm talking 7, 8, 9 figures a month and beyond kind of crazy stuff. But there's so many people already making multiple 5 and 6 figures a month, probably 7 figures a month with Amazon FBA. I'm really realizing that that's really what my goal is becoming. It's not even just $100,000 a month. This is like the pathway for me to get to $1 million a month, which I think is completely possible doing this. So what I'm really starting to do is put some things in place. What does a company look like that does $1 million a month in profits? What does that look like? And that's really, I'll share with you guys, one of the books I've gone through in the past couple weeks here is, I started it months ago and I kind of got stuck about 2/3 of the way through of a book called The E-Myth. I think it's E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Maybe it's the original E-Myth, I don't remember which one. But I went through the rest of it, and something that really got pounded into me in these past couple weeks was creating the organization chart for my organization of a business that does $1 million a month, not just this. So what do we need? What people do what? We need product researchers, we need sales, we need, the updating, like me updating the prices right now inside of our inventory already in Amazon. That would be like I think it's like an operations manager. I don't know all the titles. It doesn't actually exactly matter. It matters enough so when I hire other people to do these things, they know what the heck it is. Like, hey, you're gonna be the VP of sales. Oh, so you mean I'm gonna go make widgets out in the shop? No, people in sales don't make stuff, they sell stuff. So you know what I mean? There's some general terms I have to get correct. But as I plan all those out in the greater picture of what the organization has to look like to make $1 million a month, because I'm not going to make $1 million a month with Jason Cardamone sitting here by himself. It might be possible, probably is, but I think it's stupid. I think it would take much longer. I don't think, I know it would take much longer for me to do it by myself. And when I say stupid, I really mean that. It would be very arrogant and stupid to try to do that on my own. To realize, guys, I don't want to work that hard. You'd have to work so hard to do that by yourself, even to do $100,000 a month by yourself. And I'll share with you guys an example of this. And you guys have kind of seen this coming down the road here. So doing more research and outsourcing. So here's what happened a few days ago. This past weekend, we're in the middle of this family crisis. We still somewhat are, but it's a lot. There are some parts of it that are resolved, so it's not as pressing right now. We still have some stuff to work through throughout the family, but some major urgent and important crisis, like things you have to deal with right that second, that stuff is somewhat over, the emergency type of stuff. So anyway, this past Sunday, I had been dealing with it for a couple days, and I was just like, holy cow, I gotta go out on my run. And by the way, I just want to say I have the best running coach in the world. I didn't give her details, but I explained some of what's happening, and she was just like, dude, family always comes first. When things like this in life come up, forget about running unless it actually helps you and gets you through the process. And I kind of wrote back and just said, you know, what really helps me is running is really this foundation I have where I listen to personal development, I listen to books on tape for almost every run I do, and it physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's this, you know, meditation time. It's so much of stuff built into one activity that it's a foundation for my health, my life, for everything I do, for my energy level, for everything. And when I go for too many days without running or working out any kind of like physical, getting your heart rate up, clearing all the junk out of your body because your blood gets flowing, and then you sweat out the toxins and they get out other ways. But workouts facilitate that. They get your lymphatic system getting rid of all that garbage in your body. And that's just on the physical stuff. There's a million other benefits. And so when I don't do that, my whole life suffers. I can't focus as well on literal concentration isn't as good. I can't coach people as well. I can't communicate and relate to anybody as well when I'm not consistently doing my workouts. And so I told her, I said, you know, what really helps me is to do the main workouts where they're really intense and it's the things that push me more. And some of the easier workouts, which are important for like flushing out toxins that I've built up from the really hard workout, you know, the next day I'll have this really easy thing where you just barely break a sweat, just nice and easy, getting your blood flowing. And those, I used to skip that kind of stuff all the time until I learned what it was doing to me. I'm like, man, I'm missing out. This is why my performance isn't quite where it should be. And so, anyway, don't mean to get all distracted there, but I forcibly took my long run this past Sunday morning. It was 2 hours. I went on a 2-hour run. And I just remember getting back, and even though I had run 2 hours, which is a really long time, I just felt so energized and amazing afterwards. I'm like, gee, I really needed that. You know, I hadn't ran before that for the last 2 or 3 days. And with all the stress, with everything, it was a huge, just like, instantly brought everything down from like a level 10, everything instantly down to like a level 6, which you want to get everything down a lot lower in stressful times. But you don't want to operate at a level 6 out of 10 all the time, you know what I'm saying, as far as stress goes. But the 6 compared to 10 just felt like, oh, it's amazing. It felt like a 1, you know what I'm saying? So took that, and I posted a job to get this stuff outsourced. And I was so excited. I wrote this perfect job description. Everything was in there. It took me like 30 minutes to write everything out, explain everything. I'm like, dude, it's beautiful. Post it on there, bam. And like I don't remember the details. I think this was after my run or before it or something. I think it was before the run, actually. It was before my run. And I posted it. And within a couple minutes, this was, I'm already super stressed, all the stuff in the family, so let me take you back to that moment. And I post the thing, and I'm like, sweet, I need to gain a little bit more business momentum during all this crisis. And so, post the job, and I'm getting ready for my run, getting my Garmin on, you know, all my stuff, getting ready to leave, and I get an email that says my job has been rejected because I forgot what they said. It was for nothing I was doing. It was an automated thing that had read some of the words or extracted words from my job description, and it thought I was doing something that they don't allow. And I just read it and I was furious. Like, and here's why. Here's it came down to. Not only was I already on the edge of emotion and spiritual capacity and everything else, I just spent 30 minutes that just completely disappeared because I didn't even have a job description. I hate doing things more than once is what one of the foundational principles is. And I got so frustrated. I basically just like, I was so mad. I was ready to like throw things. I was so mad. I'm like, oh my, I can't believe it. And I was just like, forget it. And I just went my run and took off. Well, I didn't have time after that. That very day, I ended up being on the phone for around 16 hours with a whole bunch of people, and not business. Maybe one business call. I don't think any of them were. I think it was all family stuff. And basically that day, the entire next day, every day was just jam-packed up till just now, which is Thursday. And so I actually got up at 4 a.m. this morning. And I don't know if I've shown you guys, I actually tracked, I think for almost the entire month of June, the times I wake up every morning. And there's a ton of like, you know, actually a week or so ago, I got up at 1 a.m. and I couldn't go back. I laid in bed till like 1:45 or 2, and I'm like, I'm just wasting my life trying to go back to bed here. And I just got up at 1 in the morning. That was around a week ago actually, before all this stuff happened. So anyway, guys, that's, did I complete what I was talking about? So I tried to post a job this past Sunday, that was like 4 days ago, and I just got so frustrated. And then I've been so busy supporting and helping people and serving people the past 4 or 5 days that not until this morning was I finally able to get the job finally posted. And not only did I post the job, I'm actually looking, here I'll actually report back to you guys right now. If I can find it. Apparently I can't really find my job again. So guys, what I'm doing real quick, I'm gonna log into the outsourcing site I'm using for this particular job, and I wanna check, do I have new messages? Cool, it looks like I just have one more applicant, but basically what I'm doing, guys, so for researching from here, here's what I'm doing. I'll just share all this with you guys. I am hiring several people. I'm paying them for like basically, I'm calling it 1 day of work. Now they can interpret that. That might mean 8 hours to them, it might mean 24 hours. I've had some of them ask, well, how many things do you expect me to find in this time? And I'm like, however many you want. You're in competition with the other people I'm hiring, and whoever does an outstanding job is the one I'm gonna keep on board, and you're gonna do this, you know, on a week, you're gonna have a whole week contract lined up after this. So in this next 7 days here, I'm gonna have amazing amounts of research and products. And so what I'm doing here, I could do all this on, not all of this on my own, but I could do this on my own and spend a lot of hours researching. What I'm doing instead, even if these people can't research to my same capacity, I created a video showing exactly how I do it. And even during the video, I found 2 things that are potential products. I'm like, sweet dudes. And I showed them that in the video, and here's where you put them on the spreadsheet. So out of this, I'm gonna have dozens of things to check out, maybe even like 100 different really awesome products. And so I'm gonna do a couple things. Number one, I'm going to either choose one of those or maybe even 2 or 3 to within these next 7 to 10 days, I'm going to place my first order from China. So today's the 10th. I actually have a goal right now that by July 20th, I place my first order. It may, you know, maybe it'll be plus or minus a couple days from there, but that's my initial goal. It depends on how well this research is going over these coming days here. But what I plan to have is just an amazing set of things that I've researched that I'm like, man, and probably out of this set, guys, there's gonna be several things that probably are worth multiple 5 or 6 figures a month to me. Just this one little project alone, just the research happening right now. So I'm really pumped up to get that underway. And I'm just about to, in a couple hours here, I'm gonna be leaving and I'm gonna be gone all day with my family at a local place called Waterworld here in Colorado. And so we will be gone, literally I'm not gonna work today. I'll be home late this afternoon, like around dinner time. And I'll make sure, I would love to get some of these people off and going right here in the next couple hours. That was my intention when I got up at 4 this morning. Well, I got up, I realized I wasn't that tired, so I'm like, yeah, let's just wake up. And I was just really excited to get this project going. It was like, I was literally like totally excited, like a you know, like how I used to get before soccer games, or how excited I get like a kid at Christmas kind of thing. So that's really funny. I'm like excited about outsourcing people and projects and stuff. But that excitement all stems from because I realize what this is going to get me. And you guys might think I'm exaggerating or I am being overly optimistic or whatever. That's ridiculous. I can easily find a single product out of this that makes me $50,000 a month. And that's just one out of the several dozen I know are going to come out of this. And so that doesn't mean I'm going to stop researching, because part of what I'm going to have is ongoing research. And then let's say, oh, I have too many products. I have hundreds of products that are amazing products. Well, what do? I could go save somebody else on my team's time in having to research their own products. I can say, hey, here's what I did. I have hundreds of products. I'm willing to sell you a handful of these for 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 200, whatever they're worth. And so if there's someone else that doesn't want to take the time to go outsource, and I've already done all this, I'll just sell some of the work I've already done if I can't use it all. Ideally, now this is not a reality this month. It might be a reality later this year. Ideally, here's what the game plan is, guys. Get going. I'll be done in a little bit, okay, buddy?
I'm going to do some gymnastics.
Okay, do it. Sounds awesome. My kids just started gymnastics in the past couple weeks, and I used to think gymnastics wasn't, not for boys, it's only girls, stuff like this. Really, after observing and what it's all about, it is full body coordination. There's so many amazing things about it. I'm like, dude, you guys like this? It looks fun. Let's do it. So we enrolled all our kids, and had a few growth challenges from all that. But anyway, my youngest son was just telling me how he's coming down to do some gymnastics. So that's awesome. Totally on his own, a 5-year-old doing it on his own. That's amazing. So, and his mom didn't tell him to, I can guarantee you that. He just likes doing it on his own. Good job, buddy. I'm proud of you. You're awesome, Caleb. So guys, here's the game plan. Here's, ideally, if I had $100,000 right now to tap into, which I actually do if I just have to tap into the resources and people around my life, I'm sure I can find this as it comes to this. If I don't want to if I want to grow out of like debt or sharing profits with people and stuff like that. So find a product, figure out how much it can make me per month. So let's say this product O here, let's say I get going and it makes me, $500 a week. You probably can't read that because it's super sloppy. 500 per week. And let's say I realize that I can do some things with this product and actually increase it where it's gonna max out at maybe like $1,000 per week. So I'll just write 1K per week. So that's $4,000 a month. Let's say I determine that it can't really sell more than that because there's just not enough demand beyond that, even if I dominate the whole market. So this thing's now making me $1,000 a week. This one product, all I have to do is keep it coming in from China, and every time to make the $1,000 a week, I have to pay like $250 a week, let's say. So I pay $1,000, 1K per month to make 4K per month. So it's basically just, it's this little machine. Throw in $1,000, $4,000 comes out. Or throw in $1, $4 spits out the other side every 30 days. So it's just repeating that, and then it continues on. I'm like, sweet, a permanent. Hey buddy, can you go do that way far away from my office, please? So that's product O, we'll say. Now I was gonna make the products all circles, but I decided that'll be product O. Let's say we have over here, we have product X. So I take some of these profits for whatever I don't need for household expenses and business expenses, which, you know, having outsourcers, that's a new expense. Now, granted, it's gonna be a lower one, so I'm not gonna pay somebody thousands of dollars a month until they're earning that kind of work, but I do have those positions when I create my whole company organization chart that's gonna make me $1 million per month. There will be positions in there that pay thousands, there will be positions in there that pay 6 figures a year. So anyway, and there may even be, making $1 million a month, there might even be a position in there that pays 7 figures a year, $1 million per year, and someone that can earn their way up and literally, you know, deserve that kind of money. Maybe there's someone already out there now that only makes $300,000 a year. They want to make $1 million. Actually, I have a friend right now. He makes $200,000 to $300,000 a year in sales. If he had the right skills and that's what the job pays, and I can hire him to pay $1 million, I can finally hire the friend I've been chasing for decades now. Tried to hire him for my smoothie franchise years and years ago. We just couldn't pay him anything of what he was making on his jobs. Hey guys, I need you to go upstairs, please. Okay? I'm shooting a video. I'm shooting a video right now and they're hearing everything we're saying. Can you please go upstairs? No computer, upstairs please. Thank you. Go on upstairs, guys. So, now all the kids are coming down to do gymnastics. It's gonna turn into like a kid fest in the background. Or noise fest is what I mean. Kid fests are awesome, noise fests aren't good during a video. Guys, please go upstairs, thank you. So let's say product X here, so I have an extra, let's say this creates an extra let's say out of the 3,000 profits, I have to use 1,000 of it for expenses, so I have 2,000 left over. Well, I'm not gonna go and just buy, hey, let's get my Lamborghini, which is gonna cost about $2,000 a month. I'm not gonna go do that. I might one day, honestly, that used to be one of my biggest goals. I don't even care about a Lamborghini right now. I will probably have one or some other high-end car at some point in my life, but I really don't care about that much. I'm not driven, that's not that exciting to me. What excites me is taking that $2,000 a month and completely changing the life of like local charities and stuff. That is I have chills from that. The car didn't give me chills, the chills thinking of how I can impact somebody's life. If there's a family crisis and if money can help something around it and somebody needs money, I'm just gonna go drop a magical 10 grand in cash on the doorstep and they're not even gonna know it's for me. And that's the kind of stuff I like to do. I've always had a goal, this is one of my, I still haven't done this yet, but to go at Christmas time, a time of year where a lot of people really struggle financially, I want to go around with $10,000 in $100 bills and just hand them out, or maybe my kids hand them out to people, or it doesn't need to be about me and my kids. We don't need to be at the center, oh, thank you so much. Maybe I get them, maybe I create a little network of kids, which I would love for my kids to be involved with this, people that I believe as they see giving charity, how important that is and how it can just like completely change somebody's life so much. And they see these people crying and breaking down and they're, you know, stuff like that. I would love for my children and other young people to be impacted by that, because that can change their entire moving forward. They will be addicted to being charitable and giving and tithing for the rest of their life from having that early age experience. That's the kind of stuff I want to do. Not just for the people receiving the money, but for the people giving the experience as well. I love that kind of stuff. So that's, anyway, as I digress here, take this extra 2,000 and now all of a sudden, hey, let's go spend 2,000 right up front, 2K, right on product X. Let's do that and product X hits Amazon, and in the first week, that thing makes me $15,000 like that. So 2 turns into 15 in a week. I'm like, holy cow, I can't even keep this in supply. I better take like 10,000 of that 15 and go buy another set of product X. And now that goes out there, and next thing you know, that creates me a brand new $70,000 in the next month or so. Boom! All of a sudden now I have some real problems to worry about. You know, an upgrade of problems, not how do I make sure we have enough money in our bank and stuff, which by the way, we have thousands of extra in our bank right now, thank God. The new problem is, how do I take responsibility for this new $70,000 and get the right people on board? All of a sudden my organization chart going towards $1 million per month, all of a sudden I can start filling some roles real quickly instead of me personally filling every single role. And so I am a very visually oriented person, like big time. I actually took an intelligence test once that told me I was a visual mathematician, which is actually really unique. Everybody's unique, but it's really unique in the sense that I'm really strong with numbers, but I can extract numbers and turn them into a visual picture like innately or naturally. It's something that for whatever reason, probably partially because I have a math degree, probably partially because I'm just naturally a visual person. So I just have the ability to take raw data and turn it into a picture in my mind like that. And then, so what I really love is like Excel and stuff, where you get data into like a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet can then turn out graphs and things that actually mean something to people. Typically, some people just look at the numbers and that's what means something to them. Most people are actually visually oriented. So to be able to take numbers and turn it into a visual data that can mean something to you or to the average, to like 80% of the population, that's a really cool skill to have. So for me, so let me say what one of my lacking skills is great going into deep detail. So I started to discover this through the hard way in college. I remember I used to just memorize all the assignments I was supposed to do. And I remember real early on my freshman year somewhere, maybe the beginning of my sophomore year, that there was something due and I just completely had forgot about it. And I get in class like, okay, turn in assignment X, and I don't have it, like, and it was this huge panic because I always turned in everything, always. I had an extremely high GPA just because I did my homework. I almost never read books or anything, but I would do the homework they asked us to do. I didn't do extra ever, do the bare minimum to turn it in, but I always got really good grades because of that. And so to not turn in a homework assignment, that was a huge, like, holy crap. And then so I go do it, turn in the next day, get penalized because it's late and stuff. But I real quickly learned I have to write down everything. And so very quickly I developed systems to keep me organized. So as far as details and organization goes. So visually organization, I'm amazing at it. So I can see the parts of my organization chart right now in my mind. I can actually picture it floating above the camera. And it's probably crazy. You guys, have you seen movies like, oh man, what's the movie with Russell Crowe? What's that guy's name? I completely can't even, A Beautiful Mind. You guys seen that movie where the guy actually has schizophrenia, but you see how he like can picture things and all the pictures like glow? I can literally see my organization chart glowing above the wall behind the camera you guys are on right now. I can see it as I turn here and I can move it anywhere I want, and the things are like sliding around. That's what I'm not saying I'm like the guy in the movie, that's just the first thing that popped to my mind, how he sees the pictures, like he'll be looking at the codes on a page and like letters light up. Well, I see that right now with my organization chart, and I can do that with other things too, but I see it as like these glowing circles and what does what, and they all lead up to $1 million a month, and I'm like managing these things. And or basically, ultimately, there's a position that's managing all of them and I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting paid in the background doing, as far as work goes, doing nothing. But of course, what am I always doing is serving my mission statement. The purpose of my life is to love, to enjoy the journey, and to inspire, teach, and serve others. So I'm very likely showing people what I did, here's what I did, here's how you can do it, and helping other people to make millions of dollars a month. So that's what I'm doing right now, guys. We're just not making $1 million a month. Maybe you're not making 100,000 a month. You're somewhere in the journey. Maybe you're struggling to make your first dollar. Awesome, I have the perfect tools. It's right all around here. Contact me. Maybe you've already made your first 100, now you're working on, you want to make 500 a month, 1,000 a month. Guys, I'll share with you how successful all this is happening around me. I just talked to someone that I brought into this business here this year, and I brought them in February, and this was a real quiet person that they very rarely reach out to me, and I have to go to them typically. And I'm not very good at that. I'm not very proactive. I respond to people coming to me and respond. So I'm very much aware of that, and I'm trying to put systems in place to coach those people even better, because I know they don't like to come to me because it makes them nervous and they think they're bothering me and stuff. So I reach out to this person who had a pretty good start back in February, and this is July, guys. This was actually yesterday. It may have been the 8th I did it. So either yesterday or the day before. And I reach out to them to say, hey, how you doing? I know things were going decent, I didn't realize how many months had passed. And they're like, oh yeah, it's actually going really well. I got really busy with my products, and so with my projects, which I didn't know what that meant, but I didn't make as much in June as I made in May. And they gave me some numbers, and I'm like, thousands per month. So actually, I'll give you guys the numbers. May-ish, or I didn't make as much this last month. I only made about 1,000. The month before I made 1,500. And I was like, oh my God, awesome work, great job, great work. And they're like, I was also, how's that fitting in with your job? I know, if I remember right, you only needed like 2,000 or less to get away. And they're like, oh yeah, I walked away from my job in March. No big deal, just quit my job 3 or 4 months ago, didn't even tell you, and completely my life's like awesome. I'm doing all these projects that mean a lot to me. My life is amazing, and oh, I'm glad I checked in. Like, this person completely just changed their life in the past 3 or 4 months. And 5 months here, 6 months, whatever it's been since February. And that's amazing. And guys, that's a pretty awesome story, but there's way over just a dozen people that I personally have brought in making more than $1,000 a month. And that's not even with all the magic behind FBA and the things I'm focusing on. Those are people doing it with drop shipping. Typically, a couple of them are just creeping into FBA now. So, and there's tons of stories I could share with you guys. That's not what I'm here to do. But that was such a, I'm trying to say this without just bawling and crying to you guys of how inspirational, how much that means to me. Because I know this one person, and I remember talking to them somewhere in 2013. I think it was late in the year, in the middle, maybe early, I don't know. And I remember very vividly their goals. And I actually wrote all their goals down of what they wanted to do and what they wanted to do for their mother. And I could find the little note card with their name on it, with all the notes I took from our initial coaching call somewhere in the past 12 to 18 months. And to see that person has realized their goal, even though the vehicle we tried to use in 2013 was a broken vehicle, we now have the vehicle that works, and now they've reached all their dreams that they wanted to from the past year, probably from the past several years. And dude, that's what my purpose is all about, is helping people do that kind of stuff. So that was a really incredible moment. So I've just said like 50 times in the past 2 minutes. So I apologize for that. So we have, the master game plan I started telling you about like dozens of minutes ago is to get these products. Some products are gonna make a profit of, $1,000 a month, couple thousand a month. Other products are gonna make profits of 5 figures a month. There's probably some products that are gonna make me $100,000 a month and beyond. Single products that will do this much and beyond. So it's really, if you really look at what we have here, let's say the average product only makes $5,000 a month profit. Which is, by the way, ridiculous, amazing, awesome money. But let's just look at numbers for a minute so you guys can see what it takes to build $1 million a month business. Or $1.2 million a year business. We're gonna look at those. I want you guys to realize what I'm talking about here. So let's say the goal is I want the average product that I grab to make $5,000 a month. Awesome. So $5,000 a month per month is equal to $60,000 per year. So that's awesome. That's for a single product. Now we can, guys, it's just, we can do this in Excel 100 times easier. Guys, I'm not quite done, okay? Please stay upstairs. I'm almost done. Super close. Thank you, guys. So this is just one example. So what I'm gonna do is like a tiny version of a little spreadsheet for you guys so you can see how my mind works. Now, if you may have the belief right now that like, yeah, the average product's not gonna do $5,000 a month. I would tell you that might be slightly above average. I know a lot of coaches right now having students looking towards one product doing $3,000 to $5,000 a month or so for a single product. Some are going to do a lot better than that. Some might even do a little less, but that is completely realistic and completely average. So this is not at all some, oh yeah, Jason's going to do 10 grand a month with every product. I might just do that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not using those averages. I like to stay pretty conservative in my averages so that when I get the final numbers, I'm like, whoa, dude. I have thousands of extra dollars I budgeted towards outsourcers that I don't need because I had planned I was going to need to do this, and we did it all with just half of the staff instead of all those people I thought I needed. So anyway, I like to be more conservative. This is, if I was going to be super conservative in this number, I would put this down to $2,500 to $3,000 per month. I'm not going to be hyper conservative. I'm just going to be average here. So this was like an average pro forma, not a hyper conservative one. So anyway, $5,000 a month. That would be that's for one product. If you have 10 products, that is $50,000 per month, which is the equivalent of $600,000 per year. Now guys, I know some of these numbers make your mind start to turn off. I want you to suspend your disbelief for a minute that maybe you could do something as crazy as make $100,000 a month or $1 million per month. Because I can tell you, I've talked to so many people that right now make $50,000, $100,000 a month, or $250,000 per month or more, and they straight up will tell you it's the same thing as making $1,000 a month, same thing as making $100 a month. It's all the same. It's a matter of getting systems in place and doing the things that actually make the money, not getting distracted in the road somewhere and doing all these things that take you away from increasing your income, which is a tricky thing that most people never get past. So that's the subject for a completely different video. We're not going there right now. We're just looking at this stuff. So then, just to make the numbers match up here, when we have 20 products that are all doing this, we are now making $100,000 per month, which is the goal right here, which is the equivalent of $1.2 million per year. Now that's what I heard one guy once just called silly money. It's just ridiculous money. Well, I'm looking, I'm looking honestly at really 10xing that thing, because I think what ridiculous money is $1 million per month profits, because I'm just the kind of person that I don't believe in limits. And I've looked at things, I'm 39 years old now, guys. I just turned 39 in late June, and I am now running faster than I've ever run in my entire life. You're supposed to peak in like your young to mid 20s is when your physical, like your body peaks as far as how fast and what it can do and how much abuse it can take. Well, what it means is that I've been improving, and I'm 39 now, and I'm going to keep improving for several years to come. I'm going to get faster and faster and faster still. I've been getting faster for the last 5 years now. So part of that is me having a different focus specifically on running. But part of that is just my psychological capacity is realizing, dude, the age doesn't mean anything what most people mean it to mean. Not at all, not at all. I remember seeing a 55-year-old on stage once, not a clue. We all thought he was like maybe 40, probably mid-30s. Guy turned out it was his birthday. We sung happy birthday. Then we find out he's 55. He's one of the most energetic and amazing, dude, the guy was totally ripped, super fit, looked like he could literally go on like a fitness magazine. I guarantee if he had this tight shirt on, like, you know, the tight shirts, if he were to take his shirt off, I guarantee he could be like on a fitness magazine. The guy was 55, you wouldn't even believe it. He hadn't been sick in like 3 decades, just crazy, crazy stuff. I have enough people like that I've met and I've hung out with, and I've just realized your only limits are whatever you believe they are. They're all self-limiting. So let's start to get a little crazy here. Let's say that I create a company that I'm gonna have, all it is 200 little products like this that we're talking about here, and all of a sudden, we are at $1 million per month, which is the equivalent of $12 million per year. Obviously, because it's $1 million a month, and there's 12 months in a year. So that one, you can do the math in your head really easy. So, and guys, that, you know, I'll tell you what I've always pictured is having a lot of owning different businesses. I don't really know the entire outcome of my bigger life. I don't know which businesses I'll own or anything. I can tell you that Amazon FBA and Genesis with DS Domination is really a big, big catalyst in my life. It's a catalyst of taking, you know, I made more income last year than I've ever made in this industry. It was, and for the years prior, I had been like flatlining for a while. DS Domination and Genesis, Amazon FBA is really allowing me to take what I did last year and really, you know, for the first time to think about things. Don't just increase it by 50% or something like that. I'm talking like add a zero to it, like 10x it. Not an increase by 50%, but by 1,000%. Not 100%, which is doubling, 1,000%, 10x it. This is really a vehicle to do that. And what all this extra creates is not just my ability to go out and like impact the world and really help people that really need help, but also, excuse me, to take a chunk of this and reinvest it into doing the same process with Amazon FBA again and again and again. Because I'm the kind of guy, I love learning new things. I've been a lifelong learner, and I will never stop learning. It's how I'm wired. I am particularly interested in projects having to do with human potential, human psychology, what makes us do the things we do, and this is kind of what I love about network marketing and coaching people in online business. It's really this, it's just this giant online experiment with real people, some of them are you guys watching this video, of what's really possible for all of us, of helping you overcome your own limiting beliefs. Maybe you have a limiting belief right now that you can't make money online. I guarantee you, in these next any given 30 days from when you say, I'm willing to give that belief a challenge right now, and you're willing to give me 1 or 2 hours a day at minimum, which isn't asking a lot, I guarantee you, we can completely change that. Guarantee it. Financially guarantee it. And most people will do that with far less than an hour a day on my team, far less. So and that's just the very beginning, because for some people, all it takes is to help you make one little sale, your first profit, and all of a sudden it opens up your limiting beliefs, and all of a sudden you start doing some stuff. Next thing you know, you're making a sale a day. Next thing you know, you're making 5, 10 sales a day. And then next thing you know, you're sitting here doing videos, which you never believed you'd ever do videos because you were so shy. You heard stories about when I was a younger kid, you wouldn't even believe it. You're gonna be talking about doing things of like, let's have 200 products, each one making us $5,000 a month that make us $1 million per month or $12 million per year. It all starts with your first dollar, your first penny, and turning that into something and leveraging it. And it doesn't need to take, I've been doing this 8 years now. You don't need to take long. I was making 6 figures like my, 3rd year into this. I went full-time after 2 years, and that first year I went full-time, I can't remember my exact numbers, but I was pretty close to 100,000 by that first year I went full-time. Maybe it was 80,000, I don't remember, guys. I could go look it all up. I don't know all the details, but I know that by the year either I went full-time or right after, I was at 100,000 and have just been growing, mostly growing beyond that. There were some years there where I just kind of floated around there where we didn't really need much more. It's been really cool to take all this action here this year, especially the last month or two, to really take a very focused effort. It's not month or two. It's been a good, I started setting up the foundation for some changes in the middle of May. Actually in May, I knew we were starting to set some changes. Had my big race that I had been training for 6 months, the 3rd or 4th weekend in May. Then I had the speaking engagement the last day in May. I think I spoke actually on June 1st, if I remember right. And so, and then I got home and just hit the ground. So it's really been since June, very late May, early June. I've been working like crazy. Guys, I've been putting in 90, 100 hours per week up till the last really week and a half or so here, week or so especially. And real soon here, I'm going to be right back to 70, 80, 100 plus hours a week because it's not work. It's playing, it's experimenting, it's having fun, it's helping people. Now I'm helping outsourcers that need money. I'm paying people money they need to do work that I need done, and we're all helping each other. It's going to be amazing. I'm really creating an amazing company. So I'm going to go, when I get this stuff documented in my blog, I'm actually going to create my organization chart, and I'll probably share that. I'll share with you guys at least the main parts of it, and that's really all inspired by the E-Myth, and then it's a matter of filling those positions by other people than just me, because I've definitely realized in these past the first time I made this goal was 2010, so this is the 4th year now, 5th year. One of my main goals in 2010 was to outsource a lot, to really get good at outsourcing. It was one of my biggest goals for the entire year. And through my goal setting workshop I did for myself that year. And I outsourced a little, had a lot of challenges, wasted tons of money. And I've learned so much in these past, I am actually creating an outsourcing course. I'm gonna create that these next couple weeks here. That will I'll probably make a goal to get that done by August 1st or so. And because there's people on my team right now that are starting to outsource, but they're screwing everything up and they really need some guidance there. And so I have people asking me for that, and it's something that I can extremely easily teach to anybody, because I've done so much of it. I've hired way more than 100 people in these past 5 years or so, and I've learned some very, very expensive lessons, not just in overpaying and money lessons and hiring the wrong people, those kind of lessons, but also the kind of lessons of things that should be hired out that I insisted that I thought they were too expensive or would take too long, hence too expensive as well, that I should just keep doing it myself. I've pretty much learned, and here's another amazing book here, guys. Right here, don't need to go back, need to go forward. The 80-20 Sales and Marketing from Perry Marshall here. You guys can get this book for a penny. I actually have a link. If you want this book for a penny, ask me. I have a link for you to get it. And that book has been a highly influential on me in getting me to start outsourcing the stuff that frankly I suck at or that I hate. I'm actually good at a lot of things, but there's a lot of stuff I hate to do, and hence I self-sabotage it. I'll share with you one of them right now. Researching. I hate research. I hate it with a passion. I don't even like to use the word hate. I have the right psychology where I can make anything fun, including research, and that's exactly what I've done earlier this year when I had to do research on my own. But I very quickly realized there are other people that can do this same kind of work, and I don't need to spend my time doing research. When I don't love it, I don't even really like it unless I play all these games, psychology games, which is, you need to know how to do that, because sometimes you just got to do stuff you don't like. So you need to know how to frame them in the right frame of mind so you can enjoy them. But I can't, for long term, consistently enjoy doing research. It's not in my nature. My nature. It could be in your nature. It depends on your personality and what you like and what you're made of and everything. So there are people who like it, and in fact, there are people who love it and they're so stinking good at it. I love to pay them to do something they love to do, and it's an amazing win-win situation. So that researching, that's just one little thing I'm outsourcing. I've talked with you guys about outsourcing my entire eBay business. The researching, the listing, the filling the orders, the customer service, I'm outsourcing that entire business. And those are, I just listed basically the 4 main areas that I will be doing. So maybe what I'll do here, guys, is first of all, what time is it? It's actually early. We're not even leaving for like an hour. So I'm gonna go make sure I'm pretty much ready to go so I'm not running late for my family. And then if I have time, I'll come down and document some of these organization charts on the board here, and then I'll share that with you guys here in the next, maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow, or whenever the next time I shoot a video, which I was about to say I'll almost guarantee it's not going to be 17 days. It probably won't be, but hey, I didn't plan on all this crazy stuff happening for the last 17 days it took me since the last one. The reality is it's such a rare thing that I've just gone through, but I am still determined, guys. I still have a goal to crank out $10,000 in August through FBA. And I completely believe it's possible for me to do it right now. I lost a good 2 weeks here out of my 90 days, but I shall persist until I succeed. I shall persist until I succeed. So I don't care if it takes me 100 days, 120. If I miss my 90-day goal, I'm going to persist until I crank it. And then guess what? I'm not going to stop there, because that's why I have this written up here, and I'm not going to erase this for long. By the way, my red marker just ran out, so I can't erase that because I can't put that back in red marker, and red tends to draw your eyes more. So anyway, I've blabbed on enough, guys. I'm going to close out today's video. So that is, we are here at day 39. I got about 51, or is it 41 more? 51 more days to go here, and we're going to make some magic happen. So until next time, guys, to your ultimate success, and God bless, guys.